I'm Ryan Policky, AKA the Night Mutilator. And I represent Bloodshed Death Bath Productions, who has brought you many years of immersive and haunted tournament enjoyment with Horror House Fest, the Pinball Tournament of Death. A real-life game experience where everything around you is the game. 8 years later, and after so many different incarnations, including one last November at the Pinball Pub here in Denver, we just decided we need to take this a step further. So I built a video game over the course of the year. My first console game, in fact. The player is the pinball, and being in an open world format, they need to make it to the end goal with the most points in the shortest time. Players of Dreams on the Sony platform can now experience it by looking for the Pinball Mountain. But the real dream of it becoming a physical table was always on the mind. A game that is almost like a mini Horror House Fest, all on its own. A game where when players hit targets and switches, it actually changes the room around them. After some work, I found an ad that had a pinball machine, an electromechanical, which is perfect, that had a plastic in the middle of the playfield that looked like the top of a mountain. Instantly, I knew this was the game. Over the past few months, I have been reskinning the playfield of Cherry Belle into what is now the Pinball Mountain. It's not an easy process. There's so many levels of layers of sanding. There's so many levels of layers of how you're gonna paint certain parts, especially since it's a one-off and it doesn't have art that's being printed. All the illustration work is all done with airbrush and markers, and I can definitely thank This Week in Pinball for posting the story about Nick Cage's movie and the pinball machine in it, because after I saw that, I knew I had to go full force. Next step is to put the playfield back in the machine, paint the cabinet, and then the most important step of all is adding the interactivity, which includes hitting the targets and the switches, which control what's going on in the environment. Thanks so much for watching. I cannot wait to share this first immersive pinball machine and more in the future.